down into the reefs and tides. Come and sink beneath the waves, the wonders of this life. Open your eyes and see the world below the seas. It is the wonder of God's creation that makes us believe. Not the dive.
Pandemic, hindi pa rin tayo mapipigilan na mag-explore ng iba't ibang paraan para magkaroon ng panibagong kaalaman tungkol sa karagatan at kung paano natin ito mapapangalagaan. Samahan ninyo ako para sa mga exciting and inspiring ways to keep our oceans protected. Beautiful coral reefs. Isa yan sa pinaka-na-miss ko simula ng mag-quarantine. Kaya naman, yan ang ibibida natin sa Wonders of Creation.
Corals are cousins of the jellyfish. They're very unique because they're one of the only creatures in the world that is an animal, a plant, and a rock all at once. So they're an animal because they have the tentacles, and these are the ones that you see moving, and most of the time awake at night, and they're filter feeders, so they're picking little items or little things that they can eat from the water that's passing by. During the day, why sunlight is important, it's because they also have, like plants, photosynthesis capabilities. They have that organism that helps them create food by absorbing light. They build their own home. That's why they're also partly a rock. The hard things that you see and where it looks like some corals look like a rock, it's actually calcium that basically it's the bones of the corals that's growing on top of each other. They're all a plant, an animal, and a rock at the same time. If you see it, it's like a forest underwater, right? It's like some are boulders, some are fans, and the average, it grows from 1 to 2 centimeters a year. Can you imagine about this small every year? And then you see how big they grow. So it takes a couple of 100 years, some of them even 1,000,000 years old, depending of course on the location. What happens is, to build a reef, it started out with one rock, and then another rock will build on top of each other to create everything. So corals will have actually been here longer than the dinosaurs. Did you know that? It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, so they've been here for millions of years, and they grow only about a few centimeters every year, so you can imagine how old they are. But overnight, they can be destroyed. A big typhoon, things that the man does, either recreationally, snorkeling, diving, can really affect. Imagine if you accidentally kick a coral, how many years did you just kick off? Accidents like storm surges just wipe out reefs, or like what happened to the Great Barrier Reef. Because of global warming, in a span of a few weeks, the entire reef just turned white, lost all its animal and plant structures, and just left the rock. And it just got wiped out. And that, imagine, millions of years compared to losing it overnight and in a few weeks. Even if they are just in the borders of the ocean, they actually provide homes for 1/3 of all the species in the ocean. And in these homes, they provide homes for the food. Other than feeding the other animals in the ocean, they feed 500 million people around the world, depend on the ocean for either fishing, for ecotourism, for shelter from tsunamis. And most importantly, and very exciting, recently there have been a lot of studies that most probably the cure of cancer and a lot of the heart diseases will be found on coral reefs just because there's so many organisms living inside. And these are things that we haven't even discovered yet.
Alam nyo ba na may tatlong uri ng coral reefs? Number 1 ay fringing reefs. Ito ay ang most common type ng coral reefs. Ito ay mga reef formations na nasa malapit sa shoreline ng mga isla. Number 2, atoll reefs. Ito ay ang mga ring-shaped coral reefs. Nabubuo ito mula sa lumubog na fringing reefs dahil sa underwater volcanic eruption at nakakagawa ng oceanic lagoon sa gitna nito. At number 3, barrier reefs. Ang barrier reefs ay parallel sa coastline ng isla, pero mas malayo ito sa shoreline kumpara sa fringing reefs. Nagsisilbi itong proteksyon sa mga isla mula sa malalakas na storm surge at tsunami.
1% lamang ang nasasakupan ng coral reefs sa buong karagatan. Pero 25% ng global marine species ang umaasa dito para sa tirahan at pagkain. Around 500 coral species naman ang matatagpuan dito sa Pilipinas. Pero 1% na lamang nito ang natitirang nasa excellent condition. At kasabay ng COVID-19 pandemic, nagkaroon ng coral bleaching ang iba't ibang bahagi ng Philippine reefs.
Sa Calatagan, Batangas, umabot sa severity 4 ng coral bleaching ang naitala ng Philippine Coral Bleaching Watch. Ito ay nagsimula ilang buwan ang nakalipas ngayong taon. Naobserbahan din ang pamumuti ng mga bahura sa ilang bahagi ng World Heritage Site na Bataha Reefs Natural Park.
Ang dami nating coral bleaching na naganap this year, more than I've ever seen since I've been into Bataha.
Ang coral bleaching o pamumuti ng bahura ay nangyayari kapag sobrang umiinit ang temperatura ng tubig dagat.
When coral bleaching happens, it acts like the coral has a fever. It removes its plant part, and because of that, it can't be able to make food for itself. It starts to turn white, it gets weaker. It's basically the coral is having its own version of COVID, you know? When the coral is sick, it cannot perform its duties, which is number 1, providing shelter for the marine life that we rely on for food. Number 2, since it's not strong enough, when storms come, especially that it's typhoon season, when it comes and it hits, it won't be able to protect the coasts anymore. Number 3, if the corals don't survive this and it won't come back, it will affect everyone who relies on the coral reefs for tourism.
Ang green gases emissions mula sa pagsusunog ng fossil fuels ang isa sa mga tinuturong dahilan ng pagbabago ng klima na nagdudulot naman ng iba't ibang problema sa kalikasan tulad ng coral bleaching. Ang simpleng naiwang nakabukas na hindi ginagamit na ilaw sa tahanan o opisina ay isa rin sa nakakadagdag sa green gases emissions.
A lot of people are asking me, how can they help the ocean while they live in the city, while they're in the office or working from home right now, right? Every little action you do affects the ocean, whether it be the products you use, whatever you use, take a shower, goes down the drain and ends up in the ocean. All your little actions of all the gadgets you're using, how much electricity you're using, that really takes a toll. And most importantly, what causes coral bleaching and all these greenhouse gases is majority of it is the production of single-use plastic. All these plastic bottles, all these wrappers and everything. It takes so much energy and so much fossil fuels burning that to make this one thing that we're only going to use once. Now, if you really do care about the ocean and you want to help, then changing your lifestyle from home and of course as you go to the beach also and everything really, really helps. So.
pag-preserve pristine beauty ng isang lugar ay isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit gustong-gusto nating mag-dive and travel escapades. Kaya naman, let's explore the underwater beauty of Calatagan here in our dive guide.
Ang Calatagan po ay may 25 na barangays, 19 po dito ay coastal area. So, malaki po ang potential ng Calatagan sa coastal tourism dahil yung mga mamamayan po mismo ang nangangalaga sa coastal areas dahil sila po yung nakikinabang din. Ang una pong hanap buhay ng mga taga Calatagan ay pangingisda. And pangalawa po ang tourism. Dinarayo po ang Calatagan dahil sa white sand beaches at sa natural na ganda ng Calatagan. Bukod po sa natural corals, meron po kami dito may pagmamalaking Calatagan artificial coral reefs. Ito pong Calatagan Artificial Coral Reef ay pinondohan ni Mr. Vicente Madrigal Warnes. Dahil nung panahon yun po ay talamak ang illegal fishing sa lugar.
Kung babalikan natin yung history ng mga dynamite fishers, ay very rampant ang cases ng dynamite sa Calatagan way back mga 1980s. So, mga durog na yung mga corals.
Kung kaya't nag-isip po siya na magawa ng artificial coral reef. Nag-umpisa pong ihulog yung unang tube noong June 24, 2003 and natapos po ito after 2 years.
14 na underwater pyramids ang matatagpuan sa ilalim ng dagat dito sa Calatagan. Nakatayo ang mga ito sa lalim na 60 feet. Ang bawat pyramid ay may taas na 18 feet. Gawa ito sa dead coral blocks, bato at steel. Ang kinalalagyan ng underwater pyramid na ito ay na-establish bilang isang fish sanctuary noong 2002 na may lawak na 2 hectares. Mas lumawak pa ito hanggang 60 hectares nang maging marine protected area ang lugar noong 2010.
Pinurotesta yan ng mga mangingisda. Kasi ang sinasabi nila is liliit yung kanilang area of fishing ground. Pero in the end, nanindigan naman yung aming local government na subukan muna po natin. So pumayag naman ang community na magbigay ng area which is 2 hectares. Pero dahil nakikita na rin ng community sa nakaraang mga panahon na dumadami yung kanilang huli, nag-come up yung community na i-extend ang fish sanctuary. So yung fish sanctuary dati na 2 hectares, ginawa na siyang marine protected area.
Wala pang dive center sa ngayon dito sa Calatagan. Katangi-tangi naman ang underwater paradise na kanilang maipagmamalaki sa lahat. Ang mga underwater pyramid na ito ay tanda ng pagkatuto ng mga Calatagueño na hindi dapat abusuhin ang karagatan. Kaya kung gusto mong makita ang nakamamanghang tanda ng pagkakaisa ng mga mangingisda, gobyerno at NGOs ng Calatagan sa pangangalaga ng karagatan, makipag-ugnayan lamang sa Calatagan Tourism Office.
Siguradong mapapasana all tayong lahat ngayon kay Vanessa Vergara dahil na lockdown lang naman siya sa isang lugar sa Calatagan, Batangas, sa tabi mismo ng dagat. Hindi lang niya basta na-enjoy ang quarantine, ginawa niya pang mas makabuluhan ito. She spends her time engaging with the local youth of Calatagan to inspire them in loving our ocean. Ito ang kwento ni Vanessa Vergara sa Diver's Eye View.
Hi, this is Vanessa Vergara, scuba instructor and president of Reef Check. who is currently located here in Calatagan, Batangas. Calatagan is special for me because it is actually in the same bay, Hanau Bay, and it is right across Anilao, where a lot of the diversity and corals and one of the best diving destinations in the Philippines is. It's very special to me because every time I go diving, there's a surprise waiting, whether it be an eagle ray or a frogfish, or you discover a new site. Calatagan is very untouched and has so many secrets that it holds. Since March, I've been located here in Calatagan, Batangas, and it's been quite a blessing to be around nature, and I spend a lot of my time here in the ocean, by the ocean. Spending more time here, it gave me a chance to get to know the people here and the ocean itself and what it needed. And I need a dive buddy. It started there, and I realized, I was like, you know what, why don't I teach some people from the local community to come diving with me since we're safely quarantined in the same area.
Si Denver ang maswerteng napili ni Vanessa bilang scholar for scuba diving certification ngayong quarantine. Panganay siya sa dalawang magkakapatid. Magkahalong kaba at saya ang nararamdaman ni Denver nang malaman niyang masusubukan niya ang scuba diving for the first time. Bachelor of Sciences in Marine Transportation ang kinukuhang kurso ni Denver. Kaya naman para sa kanya, malaking tulong ang diving experience na ito upang mas lumawak ang kanyang pananaw sa karagatan.
Happy ako and thankful kasi ako yung napili ni Ma'am Vani na matake yung ganito klaseng course and activity na scuba diving. Sobrang kinakabahan ako nung first diving ko kasi natatakot ako na iilang ako sa mga natapakan ko, sa mga nahawakan ko. Sa mga YouTube ko lang napapanood yung mga coral, ganon. Ngayon makikita ko na sa face-to-face na. Ganon pala siya kaganda. After nung first dive ko, parang naging proud ako sa sarili kasi sa kabila ng takot at kaba na natapos ko siya ng masaya and super enjoy kasi na-appreciate ko talaga yung ganda ng water resistance natin, kaya sobrang saya, great experience yun. After nung first dive ko, dami kong na-realize and may mga punting may nakakalungkot din. Sobrang ganda ng water resources natin. Tapos may mga makikita akong basura, ganun, na sa coral reefs natin, nakasabit, ganun. Kaya kailangan natin pangalagaan talaga. Kasi karamihan naman doon talaga tayo kumuha ng mga kinabubuhay natin, di ba?
It's just been amazing because when I started engaging the kids here, they started helping me do some cleanups as well. We've been cleaning up the beach. They've been more inspired to take care of the ocean because it was the first time they actually got to see it underneath. Like, they've been living beside the coast all this time and they never got a chance to snorkel or see what really is in the ocean. And for them to go down and like meet the creatures, their neighbors and everything, I could see that they end up caring more and, being more mindful of the trash, being very curious about the ocean and trying to figure out, especially when we witnessed some bleaching here, I could see that they were also very worried.
Malasakit ni Vanessa sa dagat ang nagtulak sa kanya upang bigyan ng opportunity ang mga local youth ng Calatagan, not only to see the underwater beauty but also to protect our ocean. Paano naman kaya nagsimula ang pagmamahal ni Vanessa sa karagatan?
I am from Manila, but my family has a farm here in Calatagan, Batangas. And we'd spend summers here. I've always wanted to be a marine biologist when I was growing up, since I was like maybe 9 or 10 or even younger. first time I actually went scuba diving was when I was in high school, because you should be around 10 to 12 to get your intro, but to get a certification, it's really better to be a little older so you understand the risks involved and the importance of safety. But wow, the first time I went underwater, it was like a dream come true. It was in El Nido, Palawan, and I took an intro dive in Minalok Island, and of course the intro dive is just around 15 feet, but it was a whole new world, and I knew like the moment I jumped into water, it's over. I'm obsessed. Always a dream of mine to go scuba diving, and actually I never thought I'd become an instructor, but when I started training I just couldn't stop. I've always wanted to be a marine biologist growing up, but I ended up doing a business course and getting a 9-to-5 job in a corporation and everything. But that didn't stop me. I was still, training to do scuba diving, and I was volunteering with different organizations like WWF, and I was volunteering for Reef Check. When I became a dive master already, I was about 25 years old, and I volunteered for a project with DLSU in the marine station there in Shields here in Batangas. We went diving, and then we went to a reef, and I found it so beautiful. I was like, wow, these corals are good or whatever. And then during that project, our head scientist now in Reef Check, Dr. Licuan, and he said like, okay, I give that coral reef about 30 months left to live. Because there was a development beside it. It was, I think, a golf course, and the chemicals and all the building materials and all the scraps have been going into the ocean and like covering up the reef, and he was saying that it would be gone in 3 months. And in my head I was like, what? Reefs, like entire reefs can be gone in that short amount of span, like the span of time? And I was thinking, I was like, how is that possible? I'm here doing a 9-to-5 job, thinking that I can save the ocean after my career, but wow, it's not possible. Like, we need to act now. We're actually running out of time, and right when I was trying to decide whether I should quit my career in marketing and PR, or focus on something more in the ocean. We only have about 30 years left before 90% of all the reefs are gone. And if I wait another 10 years or 20 years, the damage may be irreversible. So, it was about time that I quit and, fought for something I was very passionate about.
Mula noon, mas naging aktibo si Vanessa sa mga marine conservation efforts kasama ang Reef Check Philippines. Ang Reef Check Philippines ay isang marine conservation group na naglalayong maprotektahan ng Philippine reefs sa pamamagitan ng mga reef monitoring at pag-e-educate sa community ng kahalagahan ng mga ito.
We only have 30 years left. By 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish.
Ayon kay Vanessa, ipagpapatuloy niya ang nabuong magandang adhikain sa panahon ng pandemya upang mas marami pang kagaya ni Denver ang makakita ng ganda ng karagatan.
A lot of us think that majority of the locals who live by the coast know the ocean, have been swimming and everything, and we take it for granted that like why aren't they protecting it if that's their home. I realized a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and fortunately, lockdown, we had some spare time and we got to make use of that. And bringing the youth to go see what they're protecting and what's important about the ocean is completely more inspiring to them, and you could see in their eyes that they really care about it, rather than telling them like, recycling is important. But then if you show them, bring them to the ocean, bring them underwater, and they see plastic there, and they go, oh, now I understand why we have to take care of our trash. We have to take care of our environment, because they see how it affects the ocean as well. This is a stepping stone. I would like to continue to engage local youth and local communities, and kind of train them to be part of the ecotourism, whether it be a snorkeling guide or a scuba instructor, dive master, or somebody like that. If the people who live in the community have the opportunity to not only see the ocean, get inspired by it, but also find an alternative livelihood from there, then they're gonna help protect it, rather than continue how things have been now. When things are more safe, I would like to work with our different organizations, Reef Check's different organization partners, and we would like to, we're actually already creating paraphernalia booklets in Tagalog and in different languages, so that we can easily give that to the youth or local communities when we would like to train them to scuba dive, to snorkel, and all these things, just so that we can continue to, train people from the local community, and not only give people a chance from Calatagan, but from different coasts in the Philippines as well.
I hear your heart is beating for a journey to tell. But what if I told you I know a place we can go, somewhere you'll see the things your eyes been dreaming of. Get ready to behold the paradise long hidden from your eyes.
Ang pandemic ay ang isa sa mga nagpahirap ng kalagayan natin at ng karagatan. Naapektuhan nito ang ating normal na pamumuhay at hanap buhay. Pero tulad ng ginawa ni Vanessa, nasa atin na kung paano natin titingnan ang isang bagay. Kung ito ba ay magiging hadlang o magbubukas ng oportunidad para mas lalo nating mapangalagaan ang ating dagat. This is your diving buddy, The Dive!